Greetings, Tyson here, and here's what might be the worst loadout for a medic: Blutsauger, Vaccinator, and Vita-Saw. Now, if you're wondering why these, well, it will all be explained. Now, the medic, he doesn't really have any really bad weapons. He does have a fairly limited selection, but they're all good. And when it comes to actual play styles, well, there are certainly some variants, but the important thing as a medic is you are keeping your team alive, you are healing them. Then exactly how much, maybe there's someone that, maybe you're a pocket medic, so there's someone that you are focusing more on, but you're still healing the rest of the team, unless you're a bad medic, of course. That's always a possibility, although don't be a bad medic, try to be a good medic. There's also being more of a combat or battle medic, where you do spend more time fighting. But even then, as long as you're actually healing your team and putting effort into healing your team, you're still being a good medic. If you ignore healing your team, well, you're being, very silly and should be playing another class. So part of the thing here when it comes to selecting this specific loadout is thinking about the role of the medic. As the primary, the Blutsauger, it's not bad. It's the most combat-focused primary that the medic has. But as I said, the medic is not meant to focus on fighting. But, well, let's look at what the Blutsauger does. It works like the syringe gun, it deals the same damage, but when you hit people, it will give you 3 health for each syringe that hit, and you fire a lot of them, so it all adds up. So in a fight, it will actually help you stay alive better, although it doesn't protect you from big bursts of damage. But sometimes if they deal some damage, you heal it up. Maybe you kill them, maybe you chase them off, or you just heal yourself enough to actually keep yourself alive until your teammates actually manage to help you. It does depend on the situation, but one can't deny that it can be pretty useful at when you are being attacked by someone and you are actually firing at them. If you're not shooting at the enemy and hitting them, it's actually worse than the stock, since it reduces the passive healing that the medic has. The medic has a passive healing rate of 3 health per second if he recently took damage, and it then goes up to 6. With the Blutsauger, it starts at 1 and goes up to 4. So your passive healing is reduced, and many times as you are going to focus there on healing your team, and even when you are in a fight, you're not necessarily going to kill the enemy at full health. And if you're not currently shooting at someone, you're then healing yourself slower. Now there are other ways, of course, to heal as a medic. Health packs. There's a reason why medics should get the health packs first if many more than one people need it. As the medic can heal the other teammates. And then other medics on your team, after all, as you can see in this gameplay, sometimes you do have more than one medic on the team. There's also dispensers and stuff like that, so there are certainly other means to get back health, but that passive healing is pretty nice when you take a little bit of damage from stray rocket, not enough to retreat all the way to a health pack if there's no one close enough, or you can still be there with your team, heal them. As a medic, you want to stay at relatively safe positions. So to that end, the passive healing will actually help you, and with the Blutsauger it is reduced, and as I said, when you're not directly firing at the enemy, you are not benefiting from using the Blutsauger. So yeah, it's not really a bad weapon, but it's pretty much foots for a combat or battle medic, depending on what you want to call them. And then the next part of this loadout is the medigun shots. Well, I went with the Vaccinator. To be honest, one of the main reasons is actually that it's a bit more complex to use than the other mediguns. But let's go over what it actually does. Well, one thing, it has the resistance times, so yeah, set it to bullet resistance, explosive resistance, or fire resistance. It provides, well, it reduces incoming damage by 10%, and if it is of that specific type. And if this, it will actually build up over slightly quicker than it otherwise would. And then an overcharge rate, it is faster, but unless the patient is over, then it actually slows down. And the overheal builds up slower. So, and instead of having one big overcharge, the Vaccinator provides 4 small ones that, for you and your patient, provides a 2.5 second bubble of 75% resistance to the selected damage type and complete crit resistance to that type. So it's a very, very solid. If the enemy is using a crit Krieg soldier, that's pretty good. Explosive damage, activate the bubble, can use to neutralize that. The problem, of course, comes into actually selecting the proper resistance type. You need to pay even more attention to not only your enemies are fighting, you need to think about what are they fighting. Are they fighting heavies? Are they fighting soldiers? Are they fighting deadmen? Those things, yeah, you can generally keep an eye on those even when you are hanging back. But then when they are facing several of them at the same time, it's pretty easy if they only have heavies, or they have only soldiers and deadmen. Then it's pretty easy to pick the right resistance. Generally, but if your teammate is fighting all of them at once, then you need to try to figure out which one, what enemies are doing the most damage. Is it the heavy and with sentries and snipers, or is it the soldiers and deadmen, or is it actually the pyros? It's generally not the pyros. Pyrotism generally comes in well when the pyro is in trying to set everyone on fire. This time you go between bullet and explosive resistance depending on the opposition. And well, it's trying to figure out what is dealing the most damage. And it's not now, if you have good communication with the team, yeah, that's a good joke on a pub, communication. Yeah, that's going to happen. But if you do have good communications, well, your teammates can give you that information. But if you don't, well, there's a risk that you actually take stupid risks in order to try to get that information. So you move forward more than you maybe should in order to see more clearly exactly what this is that your teammates are fighting, and you may end up getting yourself killed for no real reason. Yeah, it's not bad, but it certainly has its moments, and it's blank, but it's kind of the most hectic to try to getting the right resistance. It's real fun when it works and the teams are, but like all mediguns, you need to think about the situations really when you want to use them best. In general terms, stock always good, crit greed good if you don't need to push through a sentry nest, quick fix. is very good at actually quickly healing people, and is pretty nice overall choice. But the Vaccinator, yeah, you're really. This specific game shows one of the situations where you probably don't want vaccine, especially not considering we already have another medic with the Vaccinator. So yeah, but we are fighting an enemy team that do have effective heavies, they have sentries up, and they do have a bunch of soldiers in them, and so making sure you have the right resistance is easier said than done. There's the fact that the actual bubble, it only protects you for 2.5 seconds, and it's only against that specific damage type. You can, I think you can put up more than one bubble at a time. That's all. The duration doesn't stack. If you want long duration, you pop one bubble, and when it's gone, you pop the next bubble. But yeah, you see, it can have some problems when you're trying to break into a solid defense where the enemy are using reasonable selection of classes, and you have to deal with all damage types at the same time. Otherwise, it's actually not that bad. So as a melee weapon, using the Vita-Saw, it has its effects. One of them is really good and potentially huge, but it also has a drawback that is potentially quite significant as well. So basically, it mitigates the effects by dying, as it allows you to preserve a bit of the overcharge you managed to accumulate during your life. But the downside is that you have less health. It's 10 less health, so you are slightly more likely to die. Main question when it comes to judging whether or not the Vita-Saw really is good or bad is how often do you drop below 10 health when you're playing as a medic? Because if you because anything that if you always die immediately after your health goes to 10 and you don't survive, then you would have died with whether you were using a Vita-Saw or not. So that doesn't matter. But if you find yourself in a situation where your health might temporarily drop below 10, but you still just manage to survive, and those situations do happen. But the question is how often, how much is it really worth, and those are things that are difficult to really judge. Now, most of the time I think that the Vita-Saw can actually be quite useful, but yeah, this is also the loadout in full, and I'm using the Blutsauger, so my passive healing, it's reduced. The reduced health does mean that picking up any small or medium-sized health pack will, at least they should not provide as much health, because the health they give depends on your actual max health, and since that is reduced, you should receive slightly less health. Not much, because 10 health is not really that much, but it's still there, and every now and then I will get killed by things that would not have killed me otherwise, but it's hard to say when that happens. When do I get killed because I was playing with the idiot and would have died anyway, and how times do I get killed because I was using the Vita-Saw and I had 10 less health? Hard to say. One reason many people don't like it is, I think, because the fact it's completely passive. You don't have to work to preserve that precious overcharge. All you have to do is, well, you get the positive effect if you die, and if you don't die, well, then the downside doesn't matter. But all in all, yeah, with this specific loadout, as I'm using the Blutsauger, it is a bit more combat focused. so reducing health, not really a good idea. So that's pretty much my reasoning for this loadout. So do you agree? Do you think this is maybe the worst medic loadout, or do you think you have another idea of an even worse loadout? Then, well, you can leave that in the comments. Hey, they are there for a reason, for people to leave comments. And if you wish, you can also leave comments for suggestions for other really bad loadouts for other classes. You can leave both for those I already made, which is for as well as those I'm planning to make. As you may figure out, I'm planning to make at least one video for each class. So that currently I don't have made any for Sniper, Scout, Spy, and Demoman. So if you have any personal suggestions for any of those, they are appreciated. If you have suggestions for the class I already made videos for, those are also appreciated. After all, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Yes, I'm only going to make 9 videos in this series. That's the current plan, but well, there will be patches, there will be rebalances, there may be new weapons. New weapons doesn't come that often, but there was that Pyro versus Heavy thing that you might remember, so may give us a reason to revisit some of the old ones, and maybe sometimes someone may be convinced that the worst load that I picked up wasn't really the worst. Who knows? But yeah, the current plan: make one for each class, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe that will be all for this series, or maybe there will be me revisiting all classes. Who knows? Well, people watching far in the future may very well know, but at the time, I have no idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me today, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!